Hey guys! So today I wanted to talk to you about the recently released movie Suicide Squad. You've probably heard by now that there were pretty terrible reviews on Rotten Tomatoes opening weekend. I think it was like 30%, very low. We're going to go over just what my thoughts were of the movie after watching it. Just warning you guys, there are spoilers. There's a huge spoiler alert in this. Not like you could spoil the movie more though, because it is already spoiled rotten. Spoiled rotten. It's not good. Just a little bit of backstory. When I was walking into the theater to see this, I hadn't really read any of the comics. I didn't know too much about the plot other than, the trailer. I did know that they had to go back in to reshoot for this after the Batman vs. Superman fiasco about, it didn't do very well, it was too serious. So they went in to do like more reshoots, I believe in post-production, so that they could add more lighthearted humor and some jokes in there. Especially after hearing about the Rotten Tomatoes review, my expectations were a little bit lowered, but I was hoping that maybe the critics were being a little too harsh. So for characters, I knew we had Will Smith as Deadshot. Obviously, we've all heard about Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie played that character. We had Jared Leto as the Joker. I was particularly excited to see that one just because I've seen Jared Leto do some amazing acting roles in some amazing movies. We also have Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. So beyond these actors, honestly, none of the actors get that much on-screen time. Little did you know from all these trailers that there was actually a whole other half of the Suicide Squad, and they were pretty inconsequential for the whole movie. There was one more character that they did focus on, and it was Jay Hernandez as El Diablo. All of the actors did a fairly good job. My main problem or concern with it was that the dialogue was just not written well, and it didn't really show their backstories very well, so a lot of these character arcs didn't quite make sense during the movie. And I later heard after watching the movie that this was actually edited by a trailer editing company, and that just made so much sense. This whole movie just felt so disjointed. How are we here already? What are we doing with this character? It felt very choppy. Will Smith played Deadshot, as you guys know. It was another Will Smith role. He is the kind of altruistic, sort of humorous hero character. As good as that is in other movies, it felt a little weird in this one because it is a movie about anti-heroes and about these supposed reformed villains. Out of all of the characters, I definitely think Deadpool and Harley Quinn had the most lines. Hence, they were probably the most fleshed out characters in this entire movie. Harley Quinn, played by Margot Robbie, was probably the best part of this entire movie. Harley Quinn was probably one of the more fleshed out characters. You kind of understood her character arc a little bit more. Margot did a wonderful job at delivering lines and making the character believable. Jared Leto's Joker, on the other hand, was so bad. His character was not believable. It was probably one of the worst Jokers I've ever seen. The only joke in this movie was how unfunny the Joker was. He didn't even make one joke through the entire movie. Jared Leto, more like Jared let go. That role, dude. So the plot of this movie felt so disjointed for me. I was sitting there for the first half asking myself, what is happening right now? How did we jump from this shot to this shot? Am I supposed to feel for these characters? I just feel confused. That's all I feel. There was no flow whatsoever. Dead shot? More like dead plot. It was so choppy. It was like they made an hour-and-a-half long trailer. And don't get me started on the villain. Just have her being this pseudo-godlike character who's literally dancing half naked for the second half of this entire film. She's resurrected her brother, and they've together created trash monsters to kill humanity. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever for a god character, even in the first place, to have to like create really crappy techno minions. What are you? Like, are you you're a dancing technopath model? Like, it didn't feel real. She didn't feel real. I didn't believe her character whatsoever. There were no stakes for the characters. I remember even just sitting in the movie being like, okay, so they've killed a whole bunch of techno trash monsters, and have I seen any one background human in the back of this? It didn't even feel like the set was real. It didn't feel like the world was real, and just setting a villain into this like hard to believe world, it just exacerbated how bad the world was. There were no stakes for the Suicide Squad to even be motivated to go after these guys, to go after the villain. You want to feel like there's high stakes in a movie, and it really didn't feel like that. It did not feel like the end of the world. It just felt like Cara Delevingne being basically a techno go-go dancer trying to raise trash monsters and kill people. There weren't even people to kill. It was literally just the Suicide Squad in the entire film. There was like no background. It was like the government and the Suicide Squad. And there wasn't even that many of them. There was like 2 Suicide Squad characters that were actually fleshed out for you to care about, maybe. I love talking about sound design. This movie was horrendous. The entire first half of this film was jumpy cutscenes to the like top 20 most popular songs of all time. I don't know how they decided that the first half of this movie fit into the second half, because literally after the first half with all of these songs and these jump cuts, it goes into this dark orchestral music for the entire second half, and it was just so predictable and so like action movie. This is why it was so believable when I heard that it was edited by a trailer house, because the first half of the movie felt like a trailer, and then the second half they're like, oh shit, we gotta make a movie, guys, like let's put some dark violin music in there with some heavy foghorny bass going brrrr. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Boomerang Man. Will Smith as Will Smith with guns. Tattoo Fire Guy. Cara Delevingne as a technopathic go-go dancer. I don't even know what the fuck that is. Featuring that guy from Die Antwoord. No, forget about that guy, doesn't even matter. So, there you have it. That is my review on the Suicide Squad. Let me know if you agree or if you disagree down in the comments. I will try to get back to you guys. Bye, guys! Until next time.